This Bronco is $96,000. Ford and other auto manufacturers don't want you to be able to afford a new vehicle. This truck's $95,000. This truck's $90,000. These auto manufacturers are choosing to no longer make affordable vehicles for the masses. So back before 2019, we had dozens of new cars that were being offered for under $20,000. And right now there's only one. It's a Mitsubishi Mirage. And guess what? They're going to discontinue that one as well. And we're going just to see this continue from these auto manufacturers where they're leaning into these high margin, high grossing products and getting away from things that people can actually afford. Consumers on average are paying $11,000 more for a new vehicle right now than they were 5 years ago. And look at this right here. This is a Ford Edge. Doesn't this just scream? To me, it screams a $26,000 vehicle, but no. Here at Ford for this Edge, check it out. It is $40,000. I cannot get my head around paying $40,000 for something that looks like this. I mean, doesn't this look like it just has crank windows? Right now, compact cars and compact SUVs are actually rising in their sales numbers, and guess what's falling down? These big trucks, they're down in sales. Remember when you couldn't find a Ford Bronco? Check out behind me, a full row of them right here at this dealership. So here's some interesting numbers right here. So in 2024, subcompact crossovers grew by 20% in sales. Compact cars and SUVs both grew 18% and 12%, but guess what's down? Well, trucks. Truck sales are down about 4%. And think about the inventory levels. So inventory across the US is severely cut for small cars, for small SUVs, because all these auto manufacturers, they're leaning into these big products. And guess what? That means trucks. Truck inventory is way up. So even when you have truck inventory that has greatly increased and you have car inventory that's gone down because Ford, GM, Stellantis, they just don't make them anymore, even with all of that, truck sales are going down and car sales and subcompact crossovers, SUVs, are going way up. Very interesting. This is saying that the consumer, what do they want? They want small, more affordable vehicles, and the auto manufacturer is saying, nah, that's probably not what you want. Let's get you in one of these $90,000 trucks. That's exactly what you need. So we're going to make you more of those because that's what you want and that's what we want to sell you. But obviously these numbers are showing that is absolutely not what people want. What they want is they want more affordable, smaller transportation. So we have a big problem right now in the car market for affordability. And what is that? Well, obviously it's price. So in the last 5 years, people are paying an average of $11,000 more for a new vehicle right now than they were 5 years ago. That's absolutely insane. To actually buy a brand new vehicle, you're paying that much more. And this is just a thing of inflation, but we've never seen inflation go up this fast, this quickly, and this much in the car market. So the percentage of people that are actually planning on buying a new vehicle in the next 6 months has gone down dramatically. And what this is showing is that the car market is getting worse. The available amount of consumers out there that are willing to buy one of these big new vehicles or even buy a new vehicle just in general is going down. And we're seeing these signs in the market that the market is getting weaker month after month after month as affordability continues to be a massive issue. And this is something that's going, in my opinion, to continue. We're going to have more consumers fall out of the market over the next 6 months. And 6 months after that, we're going to find more consumers that fall out of the market, because what you're having is consumers that are willing to buy a vehicle. Guess what? They've already bought. They're buying right now, and that pool of consumers is getting less and less and less every single month. And on top of all of this, banks are getting tighter. So even if there are people that are willing to come and buy all of these trucks for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, some of them are $90,000, it's going to take buyers out of the market because they simply can't afford to make the monthly payments. And then on top of that, the bank's not even going to allow them to be able to make these monthly payments, because really credit's getting harder and harder to get. And as the car market gets worse, as auto loan delinquencies keep going up, as repos keep going up, it's going to get continuously harder to get a loan for a vehicle. And here's going to continue to be a big headache for a lot of these Ford dealers. It's these F-150 Lightnings that were supposed to be hot commodities, supposed to be bought by everyone. And this one right here is $72,935. And guess what? They're not going to be able to sell this truck for that because nobody wants them. So here's what's happening right now. You look at me, I'm on this massive Ford dealership right now, and you cannot find one affordable four-door sedan. No, what are they doing? They're pushing all their production to these big high-margin trucks, to these big high-margin Ford Broncos. You got Expeditions over there. You've got smaller SUVs, but no longer are you going to be able to find small four-door sedans that you're going to be able to buy for $20,000 and $25,000. There's not enough money in that for these manufacturers. So what are they doing? They want you to buy one of these big trucks to get your groceries and your kids. And here's the thing, it's almost not a surprise because with these manufacturers, these dealers, they make so much more money on these trucks than they are going to on a small car. They could sell this truck right here and make 4 times what they're going to make on just selling a $25,000 to $30,000 car. So why would they put any of their eggs in the baskets of making cars that people can actually afford when people still buy these massive trucks and they make so much more money on one vehicle versus 4 or even more than that? So we just looked around and this is the cheapest thing that we can actually find on this lot. This is a Ford Escape and you're still paying, check this out. It's still $39,000. And guess what? When you get after your taxes, fees, registration, you're no longer able to leave this dealership with anything that's under $40,000. And we're not that far removed from being able to buy a four-door sedan, the Ford Fusion, the Ford Focus from Ford in the 20s. So that's double the price for something that's the cheapest thing that you can find on a Ford lot. Absolutely insane. And we know the Fed now is going to start cutting rates, but this can't really help anything. This is not going to help the affordability of these vehicles and help dealers actually move the cars off lots. Really the only thing that helps is if auto manufacturers start lowering their MSRPs, if they start making more vehicles that people can actually afford. And I've seen it a lot. Well, what if we let China come in with BYD and come give us a lot of affordable four-door cars? Well, here's the problem with all that. That's from China, right? And I don't think either administration, no matter who gets in office next, is going to allow that to happen. Tariffs are going to be put in place. Really, the government has a lot of money sitting in a lot of these auto manufacturers, GM, Stellantis, Ford. They need jobs for the auto industry. They don't want another industry, BYD, China, to come in and actually take over the US market. That is not a good look for the US. So this is probably not going to be allowed to happen, even though it might be the best thing for the market. I doubt that there's anything that's going to be able to happen on the China front to be able to come in and be able to sell their vehicles to where they can get them very cheap. Even if they are even allowed to come in and sell vehicles on the US market, there are going to be so many tariffs on them that the affordability is probably going to be something that's just going to be taxed away. And it's not like the cars that we're buying are built all that much better, or if they should be worth all that much more than what we're paying for. A lot of these parts that are used in these vehicles, they're used across a lot of vehicles. I just want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So a very expensive luxury car might also still be using a lot of cheap parts just to keep manufacturers' margins up. So let me give you an example of this. So a Maserati, very expensive car, very nice car, right? Uses the same door buttons as a Dodge Caravan, right? Your typical grocery getter, family hauler, mom minivan, yeah. Same thing in the Maserati. So another example of this is the Ford GT, very expensive, very fast car, right? And the Ford EcoBoost, really cheap product from Ford. I mean, obviously it's not cheap. It looks cheap, it feels cheap. It's a Ford EcoBoost. Their interiors of the GT and the EcoBoost are almost identical. All right, so check this out right here. So this is my car lot. And I can show you proof of everything that we're talking about in this video right here. So I'm a car dealer and I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. And as you can see, like this is the row right here where cars should be for sale. I can't keep cars right now. Now all these cars that are up here on the hill, they just came in. We just bought them. We still have to get them through recon. But this is a weird scenario for us, and this typically doesn't happen. See, we're at the very end of summer right now, and typically what would happen is we're able to load up and we have a full lot at this time because we're supposed to be slower. End of summer, kids are going back to school, people are on vacation. Usually in the car market for my car dealership, it's very, very, very slow. And it's been exactly the opposite of that. So what that tells me is that people are gravitating to cheaper cars that they can pay cash for. This is what people want. They want cars that they can actually afford. And that's why I feel like we are just setting it on fire right now. And as soon as we get cars in that are $3,500, $2,500, $4,000, whatever it may be, under that $5,000 price point, they get sold instantly. This is what people want, and this is proof of it right here. All right, now we're back in my shop, and I just wanted to real quick show you all the cars that we lost that were under that $20,000 range. All right, so the first one is this 2018 Ford Focus that was discontinued. And we scroll down here, we see that the original MSRP on this one for the S model was $19,920. Here's a 2022 Toyota Yaris. We scroll down here, and one thing I thought was interesting on this one, so this one's the original was $17,705. But the price now of a used one, the fair price of it from Kelley Blue Book says $15,460. The XLE was $19,705. But you can actually sell a used one that's in good condition right now. The national average is $17,439. What that's telling me is that Toyotas really hold up their value. All right, and Honda, here's another one that should hold its value very well. It's a 2020 Honda Fit that we lost. The original price on it was, for the LX model, it was $17,945. And let's just show the top trim right here, which is the EXL hatchback model. It was $21,575, and you could sell that car today for $20,809 is what Kelley Blue Book is saying. Another brand that really holds up in value, but also I think that it shows that you know what, prices just went insane over the last few years, right? So here's a 2019 Ford Fiesta, original MSRP on it, $15,235. You can't find a new vehicle that even sniffs close to that amount. 2019 Chevy Cruze, we lost that one. Original MSRP on the L model was $18,870. We have the 2024 Nissan Versa. So let me talk about this Versa real quick, pull you off the screen. So I'm pretty close with a Nissan franchise store. I've talked to their franchise manager, and this was one of the only things over the last 6 to 12 months that they were able to sell consistently, and sell very, very quickly. And guess what? Nissan said, no, that's not what people want. We're going to let's get rid of that Versa that people can't, that these dealerships can't keep in stock, and let's not try to make more of those, because you know Nissan has the right idea of exactly what people want. So anyway, let's look at this 2024 Nissan Versa that's going away, and the price of it, the MSRP on the S, $17,820. Yes, these dealerships could sell them. They could sell them for that, and Nissan wants to go a different way. And we have the last one here. This is the last vehicle right now that's on the market currently that is under $20,000 MSRP that's coming out new from the manufacturer. But guess what? Getting rid of this thing too. So 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. Price of the ES, $18,000, LEs, $19,000, Black Editions, $19,600, whatever that word is, $20,350, and the SE, $20,450. These are just a lot of examples of cars that people could afford, but guess what? Auto manufacturers, that's not where they want to go. They're not making these anymore. This truck's $90,000. Nope. It's a Mercury Mirage. Not Mercury Mirage. Consumers on average are paying $11,000 more per car. Nope. These auto manufacturers are choosing